onto the NL wildcard talk, because this conversation, honestly, it's insane now.
There's some wild shit going on.
I'm hoping we get a three-way tie at the end.
You know what?
I want it.
That's
just because you're greedy.
Let me ask you guys this.
I want 2 wildcard games.
Before we get into this conversation, do you like the setup of the current NL wildcard?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
I do. I enjoy it.
Yeah, because honestly, I've said this before, but I look at it and you justify getting into the NLDS by winning one game in a winner take all.
I like it though. It adds that to the wild card. It kind of adds that thing where it's like before, when we only had the one team, there were some teams where it's like, wow, this division is just stacked. So of course your second team is blowing away the wild card and easily won it. I love the atmosphere of. It's basically saying, hey, let's take the top 2 teams in the wild card. Let's just have a game 7. Let's just have a game 7, throw out your aces, who's better. Or in some teams, if you're stacked enough, you know what, I want to throw out my 2 so that my ace can pitch at the first
absolute win, because I'm so confident.
Because you're so cocky.
I'm just waiting for the day that a second place team has like 95 wins and the other wild card team has like 85 or something like that. And the team that has 85 wins ends up beating the 90-win team. You know, it's just like...
They earned that right there.
It's one of those things.
Now, do we know, because it's never happened
162-game season,
do we know,
one game is crazy.
Do we know what happens if the Cardinals, Mets, and Giants all finish tied?
So, okay.
Do we have 2 wild card games then, where like 2 play one and then the winner plays the other?
I think it goes something like that based on tiebreakers, actually, throughout the season. I'm not... That's a good question.
Because it's actually insane that I'm even looking. I know you want to spend most of the segment on the NL, but I want to.
The AL too.
Well, that's even insane because it's more like defined. Toronto's in first, but then the Tigers and Orioles could finish tied. They play a playoff or play-in game just to get into the wild card game.
Imagine.
So you got to play 2
Detroit's
do
not
or
dead
die
yet
games just to get into the DS.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely. And that's what Commissioner Manfred, that's what he wanted.
I love it though because it adds competition, and plus it's like if you even look at the division standings, like it's giving us something to talk about because you look at them, 7.5 lead for Cleveland. 8.5 for the Rangers, 9 for the Mets,
the
17 for the Cubs.
Right.
Like nobody's talking.
Oh my gosh, 17.
Nobody is talking
ridiculous.
divisional races at this point. We are all talking wild.
And that's what the wild card does. It introduces the option for teams to be in it, whether in the past they could have not been. So
absolutely.
In that sense.
Glimmer of hope.
In that sense. But all right, let's break these teams down. The Mets. All right, what the hell? How are the Mets still alive? Honestly, they lose Mats. He's going to be back soon.
The Braves are trying to write him off.
Yeah.
The Braves
They're working
are saying,
on it.
double not so
They just
fast,
swept
taking
him.
it over the
They
wall.
just swept him. And they're relying on guys like Seth Lugo, Robert Jesselman, Gabriel Ynoa, but Mats will be back. But they have Harvey out for the year. And DeGrom just recently has been out for the year. We had a podcast, Ricky, where we were saying, I'm worried about Syndergaard and DeGrom. And now DeGrom's out.
I'm still worried about the Mets.
Really?
It's just demons from last year.
I don't know.
I don't think you got anything to be worried about this year with
Just
the Mets.
demons from last year.
Really, it's the team. Before we move on to the Mets, to this team, I just want to throw this out there that the Giants scare the hell out of me in the NLDS. But regardless, guys, the Mets, a player like Asdrubal Cabrera is having a career year. He's one of the reasons why they're still involved. They picked up Jay Bruce. Curtis Granderson's having. He's just being Curtis Granderson.
He's still Curtis Granderson. Give the man some credit.
It's one of those things. And Bartolo Colon's closing in on 200 innings pitched again, and he's 43 years old. Like,
man, best steroid break ever.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. The New York Mets right now, I believe, they're fielding a B team right now. They're fielding a B team. What does that say about the other two? The Giants have been the worst
The Giants have
baseball
been
team
depressing.
since the second half started. And the Cardinals just find ways to be relevant still, but at the same time, not seriously considered contenders. So right now it's up in the air. Ricky, who do you think comes out of the NL?
Well, and I'm looking right now at the last few games, the last 3 series that these teams have left. I don't know if I could pick who is going to. I will, but I look at them and go, I want to say, the Giants, because they're playing 4 games against the Pods. Then they get the Rockies and Dodgers at home for 2 3-game series. I want to completely write off the Padres, but they could play just, we want to play spoiler baseball. But the reason I say that is the Cardinals, they got to go 3 games at Wrigley. The next 3 games are at Wrigley. Those aren't going to be fun.
Right.
The Cubs are on a roll. Then you get Cincinnati
Cubs
and
aren't
the
even
Pirates.
playing all their starters anymore, though.
They don't even
And we're
try to win, and they
we're
win.
still a good team. And
know.
when you get blown out in the last one, I know you took 2 of 3 from them, but when you lose 11-1 going into this road series against the Cubs, but then, like I said, the Reds and the Pirates, you can bounce back.
Yeah.
The Mets are worrying me, though, because you mentioned they just got swept by the Braves, and as of right now of recording this podcast, 6-6 against the Phillies
Ooh.
in the 9th. If you can't beat the Phillies, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. So I'm going to go Giants Cards.
Yeah.
I'm making it easy. It's Giants. I just want to see this happen. I know they've been terrible for the second half of the season.
You want a Giants World Series because it's 2016.
I mean, the year thing is kind of a joke.
It's 2016.
But it's sort of
It's
feels
kind
right.
It's a coincidence,
But
yes.
also,
but at the
Madison
same time, it's insane.
Bumgarner, like, dude, come on.
Right.
Him in the playoffs, him pitching,
And
like,
that's a great
series. Like,
And
he's
you
going to pitch 3 games in the series.
And you do know the Cubs would then meet them in the ALDS because we have the best record,
Yep.
and then Mike would be a nervous wreck
Oh,
on
yeah.
top of me.
That's the thing.
Like, Mike would be more nervous than me just because he's worried about the Giants.
Entering this season, I've said this. Like, you go back and listen to me saying this. I said, okay, I expect the Cubs to be the best team in baseball. I expect them to win the World Series this year. But the team that worries me the most is definitely the San Francisco Giants, based solely on their rotation and the balance they have
It's
within their
pitching.
lineup. Yes.
It's pitching, and they've, like you said, their lineup is balanced. It's not great. It's not like Murder's Row. It's not even close to the Cubs or the Red Sox, but it gets the job done because you have that pitching to rely on, and that's what I'm worried about
It's
in October,
just
man.
Bumgarner, Cueto, Matt Moore, Samardzija. You can go 4 deep in the playoffs. That's pretty solid.
But they're not because Bumgarner is to pitch every other night.
Sure. And you're going to rely on...
He'll go out there and light it up.
Well, Cueto, too. He left with a groin injury.
Oh,
so
I know.
That
Yeah.
happened. That actually happened last night. So that's something to keep an eye on. If Cueto's hurt for an extended period of
That
time...
may change some things.
It definitely would. It definitely would. But, hey, Dave, let me ask you. You said Giants coming out of the AL or the NL?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to win that brawl for all down there.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I said it was Giants, Cardinals, Dodgers locked for the playoffs. So I killed the Mets early on. I don't see it. I don't see it with that team. I don't see their lineup being consistent enough. Maybe Steven Matz brings them a boost, but overall, I just don't see it with this Mets team.
Yeah.
So I agree with both of you. I think it's Giants, Cardinals, Giants coming out, Cubs, Giants, NLDS. Should be interesting.